Good day, everybody. This is Unit 2, Lessons 8 and 9. I'll be doing this one solo. So just to start off, I'll be explaining our code and stuff. Sorry. So this is Lesson 8. Here is our main JavaScript file. So again, we have our port number. It's just to show you where the port will run. Then we're going to import the Express module. So it's like a web framework for Node.JS. Then we're going to initialize a new Express application instance. So we're going to declare a variable and it's going to equal Express. And then we're going to define a root handler for the root URL. So using / because, like in the previous video, to access different things, you'd have your localhost 3000. And then if you wanted to go to HTML or index, you go / info index, so on and so forth. So when a GET request is made to the / this function will run. So we're going to have our GET request run a / so it's just going to be a request. And then it's going to log the root parameters from the dynamic URLs like the user or the ID in an empty case. Then it's going to log the request body, only populated with post or put requests if the body parser middleware is used. And then it's going to log the full request URL, and then log a query parameters, like name equals, my name, for example. And then it's going to send a simple response to the browser or client. So like hello universe would be received on the client end. Then it's going to start the server and make it listen on the specified port, so port 3000. Again, you can change it to whatever port you want. The callback function runs once the server is successfully running. So we're going to have an app listen, and this I think would be our callback function. So this is what we made in class. We could, if we wanted to, I did to add it. I mean, I know it's technically the same thing, but still, it's an extra function that I've defined manually. It's obviously called create server. And it doesn't actually start a server, it just logs a message. Yeah, so that's basically what it is just doing. Moving on, then we're going to lesson 9. Now we have multiple packages here, but we're going to start off with the main one, which is this one. Again, I'm just going to explain the code. Again, port 3000 is just setting up the server, which where it will listen on, and then we're going to import the Express framework, and then we're going to initialize an Express app. So our middleware, it's a logger. So the middleware will run on every request. It logs the URL that was requested. The next and parentheses tells Express to move to the next middleware or root handler. And then our middleware URL encoded parser parses data from HTML forms like application, or that. Extended false means it will use the classic query string library. And then our middleware, the JSON parser. So this is automatically going to parse the incoming JSON data from request and makes it in an accessible in rec body, so request body. So it's just going to be readable basically. And then it's going to have a dynamic route which handles GET requests to veg or vegetable. Originally it was item, so here it used to be item, but I changed it to veg for vegetable, because the page will read this page is for zucchini, sweet potato, butternut, Brussels sprouts, etc., etc. If you do / veg / a vegetable, you input. So yeah, basically it's going to capture the value from the URL. That's basically what it's just doing. And then it's going to post route, so handles post requests to the root URL, the forward dash. It logs any data sent in the body and any query parameters, then responds with a success message. Over here, we just have our post request. So over here, our console.log, it's going to have a pass body from the JSON or form, and then any query parameters from like like your name equals your name, whatever. And then that's pretty much it. This is just like the start of your server. It tells you where it's gonna be like defined from, port. Again, this just like follows along from which port you defined in the beginning, so you don't have to, if you want to change it into places, you can just have it follow along to any port. And then our controller. So this is just under a controllers folder. So in our home controller, we're going to be exporting a function named send request parameter, but send rec param, to handle get requests with a dynamic parameter. And then it's basically just going to grab the vegetable from the URL path. Example over here that I've written out. So originally it was items, like I said, but it would now be veg. So we'll change it to veg, carrots. So now it would be carrots. Then it's going to send the response back to the client. So it's going to say this page is full, the veg you put here. So it's going to fetch the value from here, being this one, and it will fill it out. Instead of saying veg, it would say carrot or butternut or Brussels sprout. You get the idea. So it's going to export a function named send post to handle post requests, and then it's going to log the body of the request data sent via the JSON or form, and then it's going to log any query parameters, like type organic, and it's going to send a response indicating the post was successful. And then, did I explain this one first? I don't think so. No, okay. And then this is just basically part of it. Basically, we're just importing the home controller, the one I just explained, module where a root logic lives. So to get all that information, it basically comes from the home controller. Again, we're just going to set the port number. We're going to import the Express framework. We're going to initialize the Express app. Basically the same stuff repeated. What's my importance I can read out here? Middleware, for example, passes incoming JSON data and makes it accessible to read via rec body. But this is basically the same thing as I explained in the home controller. So again, it's just going to have a root. So it's going to get the items and then vegetable, but we changed it to veg, right? So it would be get the vegetable. So say for instance your URL now, just for like a clear indication, you got carrots, So it's basically gonna like use a send rec param function from home controller, and this will handle the dynamic vegetable requests like items, carrots, but in this case veg carrots. And then our root post is just gonna like use the send post function from home controller, and this root can just handle the JSON or form data posted to the root URL. And then it's just gonna start the server for incoming connections. So yeah, thank you for watching. That was Unit 2, Lesson 8 and 9.